Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to take a look at the highlights of my last Legend League attack where I went perfect, and actually we nearly went perfect on 2 accounts, which means on this one we had 320 trophies and on the other one we had 306 trophies, which means out of 16 attacks we had only 1 fail. So I will show all of this to you guys. And if you want to watch me live, make sure to follow me on Twitch as well. I'm streaming every single day, mainly in German, but at the weekends I'm streaming in English as well. So if you want to catch those live streams, make sure to follow me on Twitch. The next thing, the first attack which I'm going to show you guys is going to be a Hawk Rider attack. On my mini account, we're normally pushing on 3 accounts overall, like one of my rush accounts and the 2 max, or like nearly max accounts, which I have. And it's overall a lot of fun. We're trying different armies. Queen Charge Hawk Riders is going to be the first army. And I will just let this run in the background because first off, I want to explain to you guys how you guys can get the free gold pass. This means if you guys are interested in the free gold pass, huge shout out to Sauce Boss, who actually said he wants to he wants to support me. He didn't want to donate on Twitch or anywhere else. He just said, okay, I will give you 2 gift cards, 1 Google Play card and 1 App Store card. And I said, okay, let's do it like this. If you're donating this to me, I can basically do whatever I want with this, right? And I said, okay, let's do this as a giveaway. You guys supported me so crazy much the last couple of days, weeks, and the last years. It's crazy, so I just want to give something back to you. And Sauce Boss was totally fine with me giving this to you guys, which means we're doing this giveaway on Instagram. The link to my Instagram will be down below in the description and in the comments. I will pin that comment so you guys can find my my link over there. And I will post a couple of, I don't know, every day maybe if I'm really good in timing on the Instagram account. And I will announce the giveaway later today over there. So if you want to participate, follow me on Instagram and, well, just give me over there a comment. The post over there will explain the giveaway a little bit better. So huge shout out to Sauce Boss. Thank you so much, buddy, for the donation or for the possibility of doing this giveaway. Huge shout out to you. Crazy nice of you. And let's take a look at all of the attacks now, because this is how you guys can get the free gold pass, and this is how you guys can support me as well. If you want to support me, that's really easy for you. You can just go in your in-game settings and then more settings, and at the bottom you can find the Creator Boost code. If you type in Itzy over there, we will have many more giveaways in the future. So let's take a look now at the attack. The Queen Charge, what I did on this one was crazy, to be honest. So the Queen Charge had a lot of value. We took out not only the enemy Queen, we took out the enemy Eagle, Inferno Tower, and now we're taking even out the enemy Town Hall. You can't get any more of a Queen Charge, to be honest. It's crazy. And like I said, we're pushing right now as well on my mini account. We're switching over to my main account in a second. And this means we do not have max heroes over here, which means a level 8 Royal Champ, level 41 Warden, and so on. And not all of our heroes are maxed. Not all of our troops are maxed. So it's more like a, not really rushed. I think I wouldn't call those heroes rushed, but they're not maxed. So this, against pretty decent upgraded bases, is not too easy. So we fail sometimes we triple, but overall I think we have pretty good attacks overall. But now I think we should get to the serious part. And how did I go perfect in Legend League? What attack army am I using right now? And especially the reason why am I using it. And I will show you guys a couple of tricks how I finished really high up there in the Legend League as well. I was number 2 in Germany the last year. I was in the top 100 in the global ranking. So let's take a look at the first one. This one's going to be the army, 15 miners, 13 Hawk Riders. I'm using Hawk Riders in my Siege Barracks as well. And the Siege Barracks is basically to keep the miners and the Hawk Riders on track. So on those ring bases are typically really annoying to deal with. But what exactly am I doing against those? So the first thing, if you can lure the enemy clan castle, feel free to do so. It's pretty easy. You get a lot of time stalling possibilities for the defense out of the way early, which means if there are 3 ice golems in there, it takes normally ages to get through that. So this is why I'm luring the enemy clan castle early, just to get it to my queen. And then I'm just trying to charge in at one point. The point where I'm charging in is normally either not too much damage, a nice entry point where I do not have to waste too many spells, etc. So the reason why I'm choosing this one is because, well, even if my queen is going right, it's totally fine. If my queen is going left, that's totally fine, because she will always get value. On the right side, she would go into the enemy queen, which is always nice value. She will take out the enemy eagle as well. If she goes left, she will go into the second scatter shot as well, which means it's even more value. So either way, it's perfectly fine for us. It doesn't really matter where she's going. It's always nice value for us, and she won't die too quickly. So this is like the goal which you're going for if you want to do a queen charge like this into a ring base. The next follow-up thing which I'm doing normally on those bases is that I'm trying to support my queen, that she's staying alive with my Hawk Riders and all of my other heroes, basically. The miners will be safe to secure the town hall. So you will see in a second that I'm basically doing a queen charge for the entire base, but I'm supporting my troops, or like my hero, my queen, with my Hawk Riders, my Royal Champ, and my Warden. And then the town hall is getting sniped with the miners later on. So just check out how I'm doing it. I'm using Warbreaker as well to get my P.E.K.K.A inside, and then obviously like get the queen around, send everything with the main squad in, and then the Hawk Riders will obviously like come out as well of the siege barracks. They will go for the town hall or for the outside buildings as well. Warden military to make sure that all of them are going into a nice path. And now all of the miners into the inside to take out the enemy town hall. And as soon as the town hall is down, they are grouping up again. So this means most of the Hawk Riders died, but we do not really care about those 8 Hawk Riders, not too bad. But now the miners are alive, and they're pushing through the back end of the space. My queen is still alive, which is huge as well. And nearly all of my 4 heroes are alive, which is normally enough to overpower the back end of a base. And this is how I right now attack ring bases kind of often, because I feel like this strategy is really good with the current hybrid attack. Like, otherwise, it's always super risky to get the second star. If you're sending in the miners and the Hawk Riders at the same time, you always rely on a lucky split that you somehow get the town hall. I do not like to save my Royal Champ only for the town hall, because if there's like any ground skeletons, it could get really messy. But instead, if you're having your miners and the heals before the core, that's normally pretty easy to take the core out. So this is what I'm doing right now if I'm facing ring bases. So let's take a look what we can face in the next one. And on this one, we're going in against, well, I don't know, like a anti-3-star base more like, I think. And on this one, what I'm doing is I would charge for the town hall, and then I will support my my queen charge basically with the miners. So whenever you're attacking with a hybrid, you want to support your queen. You want your queen to stay alive. Otherwise, you might have time issues, and this is always a bad thing, obviously. So what I'm doing on this one, I'm starting with the charge at the 6 o'clock side, and then just with the king to funnel. My queen is supposed to go for the town hall, and that's the beginning. Like, that's the idea in the first couple of seconds. So what I'm doing over here is sending in my Warbreakers, king abilities getting used, so the queen is getting killed, and then I'm sending in 2 loons. I don't know, I should have maybe placed no loons at all. Maybe a wizard should have been enough. But either way, my queen is on the town hall. That is the main objective at the first moment. And then the next thing, what I'm trying to go for is I want to have nice pathing for the back end. The reason why I can place the king that early is because there's not too much damage on the flanks, which means my siege barracks should be totally fine to take out the trash on the outside, basically. So the next thing which I want my queen to go is to go through one of the walls. If it's perfect, she should go into the core, and, well, that's the goal for the queen. The next thing which I have to do is freeze the enemy sweeper and the scattershot, because it's like super annoying going against the scattershot and the sweeper. That's really tough. So next thing for me is pushing my queen into the core, sending all of my miners and Hawk Riders into it, and then in a second another rage for my queen. The queen ability. Healers are actually switching, because I don't know why my queen wasn't really, I don't know, she didn't really had any full HP or whatsoever, but the healers did change nonetheless, which means we can just have our healers keeping our miners and Hawk Riders alive. And this attack is becoming really close, because, like I said, normally you want your queen to stay alive. Like, that's one of your main objectives, not only because of the time, but as well because of the power you need to basically have to get through the back end of the base. Normally miners and Hawk are not enough. That's normally what it is. So on this one, I was really lucky that the healers obviously switched, and they didn't die, which is always nice. And the mines are grouping up a lot, which is good for us as well, because this means the healers can perfectly heal them. You can see it at the bottom. None of the miners are dying. And, well, this means that this is going to be close, but this might be a triple, even though it wasn't the perfect attack. Like, the healer switched, and from that on, it was basically luck whether we tripled or not. We had a couple of healers like a couple of heal spells to place to make it perfect, basically, but except that, we can only place cleanup on the outside and hope that our mines are quick enough, because it's actually really close on time. You can see it, only 30 seconds are left, and this should be a triple if we have the time, because we have a lot of miners left. The only thing which might happen, I double checked whether anything is in the corners, the only thing which might happen should be, or could be, a skeleton trap next to the archer tower, but that shouldn't be the case, and this means we should get the triple. Nice job, which means so far we are perfect, like I said, and this means we can get into the next attack once again with Queen Charge Hybrid, because like I said, it's a lot of fun, it's super strong, and guys, I know this base. I don't know where, but I somehow know this base. I don't know, guys, if you guys feel the same, but I saw this base already somewhere. I'm joking. So, obviously, when you're taking the base, which you know, it's always a bit easier. And on this one, I obviously tested the base. I used the base for 1 week, which means I know where the good entries are and how to abuse those. So I know that the Queen Charge from 6 is really strong. The only problem is that the Clan Castle is coming out to a really annoying moment. And this is why I'm always placing like 1 or 2 Hog Riders into it to lure the Clan Castle earlier than I would lure it otherwise. Which means now the Clan Castle is coming out, and this means we're clearing the Clan Castle out of the range of the single Inferno Tower, which is pretty huge. So just freeze the single Inferno Tower when it's switching on your queen. But normally, like if you drop the Hog Riders on a better perfect moment basically, and not like I did, then CC is coming out earlier, and you don't even need a single freeze for the Inferno Tower. That's like the perfect way on how to attack this base with Queen Charge Hybrid. After that, just send all of the troops in, like King on the outside on 9 o'clock, on 10 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, the Siege Barracks. First heal spell kind of early. Normally you need only 1 freeze maybe if to get through the single Inferno Tower, and then you're freezing the enemy queen and the first scatter shot together. That's always a nice thing. And as soon as the warden is catching up, you get a really nice core warden ability like I did over here. Most of the healers and the miners and Hog Riders and everything are staying alive, which is really good for us. And then at some point the Hog Riders from the left side, like from the Siege Barracks, are coming in to the party as well. And this means this is going to be a triple. Like I said, normally this is way more one-sided, because normally you get the wall break in, and this means the Inferno Tower is out of the way. But this wall break is sometimes working, sometimes not. But normally this is enough to take out this base. It depends whether he adapted the traps or not. But either way, we got the triple on this one. Like, only the Inferno Tower is still alive. We have the Royal Champion ability. We have quite some Hog Riders and some miners left, which means this should be an easy triple. And, well, just use the Royal Champ ability and then get rid of the Inferno Tower. So this is going to be the next base. And like I said, it's always kind of funny when you're taking your own base. So, well, lucky me, I guess, on this one. So let's take a look at the next base, which is going to be this one. And I was lucky. I mean, it's kind of like the beginning of a new season, right? So, like, sometimes you're getting lucky, and this one was a really fresh Town Hall 12. He didn't even had the new, how do you say that, the new scatter shots, but he had already a double cannon maxed. I don't know why, but he did. I don't know why he did that. But either way, what we're doing is using the queen, using the freeze, to get rid of the Town Hall early, and then place the healers to make sure that my queen is staying alive. We need another heal spell just to make sure that our queen is staying alive. Freeze the enemy queen with that as well. And, well, trigger the tornado trap as well. After that, or like basically this strategy is working on all of those teaser bases. You only need to go for the Town Hall, and after that your queen could actually die. That's like no problem. The next thing which you're going to do is, like, the wall break was actually kind of unnecessary, like it wasn't really needed. So as soon as you took out the enemy clan castle, that's the point where a queen can just die, because she got all of the value you needed. The only thing you need on those bases is the pathing. The next thing which you're going to do is going to be the the siege barracks and the king on the outside to make sure that all of your miners and your hogs are going into the base. That's like your goal. So what I'm doing over here is get my king to the right, get my siege barracks in, and as soon as the king is going to the right and making place for our hogs and miners, we can send our hog and miners onto the wizard tower and the air defense. With this, the pathing for those guys is crazy good for us. This is how it's supposed to be. And like I said, even if your queen is not making it into the base, it doesn't really matter. Like, this is smashed either way. Like, you will see how overpowered this is. Even if those defenses would have been maxed, even if this guy would have had the scatter shots, you can see I'm either healing all of this, I'm using the warden ability now, which means that troops would have been safe anyway. Like, even with those scatter shots, like, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But this is how you attack those Caesar-style bases with the Queen Charge Hybrid in the Legend League, and you can smash basically all of those bases pretty easily with this setup, because most of the time all of the traps are around the Town Hall, which means if you can take that out, like, you have to be really careful with your Coconut Loons, and you need to send in a couple of Coconut Warbreakers as well. The reason for that is most of the time there's a Tornado Trap in front of the Town Hall, which means all of your queen and the healers are getting rotated into the Town Hall. And this means normally the base, like, the attack is over, and you maybe can get a second star, but not a triple. So be careful and send your Warbreakers in to trigger a couple of traps. That's always a really nice tip if you're attacking bases like that. So let's take a look at the next base. This one is going to be a classic ring base, I guess, and it's actually one of the really annoying ones. Like, normally this looks a little bit different, with the scatter shots a bit different in the position, but either way, we should be able to triple that if we can get everything right. So what we're doing early, we start early with the enemy clan castle, try to take that out early on. Like, it's always nice to have the enemy clan castle out of the way early. Early rage as well, just to make sure that my queen is staying alive and she's getting through all of the storages and buildings really quickly in the beginning. And then we just wait where our queen is heading. Like, if she's going left, right, up, like up, down, we don't really care. It's like, let the queen decide, and then we're deciding what is our next move. So for us, the queen is like, she seems like she's going to the top. Now I'm placing a couple of wizards which secure that the queen is actually going to the wall and not like walking around the outside without ever actually going to the first ring, how you say that. So after that, we're freezing the enemy scatter shot, because that would have been annoying to lose my healers to that guy. And then the queen goes to the upper side, which is totally fine for us. So now adapt. Let's rethink the plan quickly, use the king and the siege barracks once again to funnel the outside, and then the hogs with the warden and the royal champ on the outside. What this does is that it leaves a path for the miners from the Inferno Tower to the cores. Basically, once again, the same as we did in the first attack, where we used the Hog Riders to create a pathing for the miners as well. You do not always have to use the miners and the Hog Riders at the same time and together. That's not always needed in this attack strategy. Sometimes you can just get creative with your approaches to the base, and that's actually no problem at all. You can see once again there are so many ground skeletons around the town hall. That's currently completely meta, so you need always to be really careful. You can see another ground skeleton using the warden ability kind of late, using the freeze spells as well to make sure that the Hog Riders which are coming in from the siege barracks are secure as well and can help the miners. And now all of this is coming together in the end again. And well, even though the scatter shot is a bit annoying, this should be pretty easily wrecked, because we have so many troops live. And my queen will sadly die. Rip queen. But we have, like I said, so many miners. We have the royal champ still alive. We have her ability still, which means this base is wrecked. And this means it's going to be another triple for us on this legend day. But this is not, like, we're not finished yet. We have 3 more attacks to go. Like I said, I will show you guys all of my 8 attacks of this day. And this means, let's take a look at the next attack, which is going to be, once again, Queen Charge Hybrid. But on this time, it's going to be on an anti-3-star base. So, on Queen Charge Hybrid, it's all about the pathing. You want to create pathing for your miners and your Hog Riders. For this, you need most of the time a Queen Charge on one side, and you need to use the King and, for example, the Siege Barracks on the other side. And in between of those things, you're using your miners and your Hogs. On this one, I could have easily went just for the Town Hall and charged that, But what I thought, okay, the town hall has a really nice pathing. Like the left side is a really nice shape just for my miners. So what I thought, okay, if I take this Inferno Tower out of the way on the right side, on the right side, this means that it's pretty easy for us to make the miners go into the town hall. I'm trying to wall break in, actually having a wall breaker fail, so I tried to tank the archer tower, freeze once again, and then the wall breakers in. This time, hopefully my queen goes in, and it seems like my queen is, well, going around the outside. So we now have to somehow save this attack. Let's use the healers, but my queen is actually going back into the base, which means we need to use a rage to keep her alive. But she's finally doing what she's supposed to do. Even though it took us a lot of time, but that's not a problem at all. Like, it's totally fine for our queen to take that long, because the pathing after that is crazy good for our miners. So what I'm doing next is I'm using the king and the wizard at the top to funnel, and the king is tanking the scatter shot, which means I can send in my miners and my hawk riders. Now I'm delaying the hawk riders kinda long because I want my miners to activate the town hall, and then the hawk riders won't like backtrack or whatsoever. During the entire time, the scatter shot was tanked and was going on my king, and that was the reason as well why I did not use the king ability early, because this is speeding up the king, is making the king more powerful, and this means the scatter shot would have been not tanked anymore. So this is why I deployed used the king ability kinda late on. And now you can see the perfect pathing for my hawk riders and the miners, which I was talking about in the beginning. Like, the queen did not really take out too much. Like, she took out a couple of storages, enemy clan castle, enemy queen, and an Inferno Tower, but that's it. Like, no scatter shot, no eagle, no key defense, which you normally go for, like eagle, town hall, stuff like that. But it was totally enough because the pathing for the miners was that good that it didn't really matter. Like, it was completely, like, you didn't really care. Like, the pathing was that good for the miners and the hawks that the value itself didn't really matter. And that is, whenever I'm talking about pathing, this is what I mean with this. Let's take a look at the next base. And this is one of those classic bases which at least I only see in the beginning of a new season, because this base is normally not too good. So let's talk about why is this base not too good. The reason why this base is not too good is, even though it gives you guys a lot of 1-stars in a lower trophy range, it's getting normally really easily tripled by the higher trophy attackers. Because the reason for that is that there are a lot of good queen walks. If you can funnel, you can make sure that a lot of your troops are actually going into the core. Yeti Smash is crazy strong on that one as well. So there are a lot of things which can go wrong, and you still get the triple. So let's take a look at this attack. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to wall break in front of the mortar, and as soon as I did that, I can wall break once again into the air defense. I finally found a spot where I can place my wall breakers, and I'm sending in way too many wall breakers, because now I don't have any wall breakers left which could be used to get in front of the air defense. Which means at this point I'm already screwed. Like, I didn't really execute properly, I completely messed things up. So what I'm doing over here is basically trying to see what I'm getting and then trying to react. So what I'm doing over here is using the poison to kill the enemy clan castle, using a rage to make it a little bit faster, so I have less time where the Inferno Tower is on my queen. Then I'm trying to react. I try to save my queen. Like I said, the queen is one of the most important things which you have to go for if you're doing those attacks. Which means, once again, another freeze on the multi Inferno Tower, just to save a couple of more healers. Now the Packer is supporting everything. Now I'm trying to get all of my miners into the core, or like into the Wizard Tower, everything, sending in my Royal Champ, everything into there. And then the heal, obviously, to keep things alive. I'm using the Rage, because like I'm not really needing the Rage anymore on my queen. So this is going to be a Rage on my core troops, then a nice vulnerability to keep everything alive and push through the core, which means it's going to be less damage on my queen. Then the Hawk Riders from the Siege Barracks are coming in, supporting my queen at the bottom, and this means this attack is safe. Like I said, on this base, a lot of things can go wrong, and you can still get the triple. This is like the key thing why this base, like this base layout, isn't too good against like decent attackers. Let's put it like this. And yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend you guys using this base, but either way, we got the triple. We're still on the perfect streak, which means 1 attack to go, and then we did it. 8 out of 8 attacks, and we're done. So let's see if we can do that, let's watch the miners and the queen finish up the last couple of defenses, and obviously the royal champ as well, with her ability, supporting everything. The minion at the top supporting and helping a little bit with the cleanup, but this was an overkill. Nonetheless, like 30 seconds left to get the triple. So let's take a look at the last base and how this base looks like and how we can triple that one with the queen charge hybrid. So next one is going to be a pretty similar one. And like I said, on those bases, even though they look annoying, but most of the time you can secure the 3-star pretty easily. So what I do on this base, I will lure the enemy clan castle early, because once again the town hall, like the clan castle is kind of far on the outside, because you have the town hall as central, like it's the key building in the core. And this means the town, you can lure the enemy clan castle out. There are only Valkyries in there, which means it's totally okay. Let's do that. Now I'm using the queen, or my own queen, with the healers in behind to start the queen walk. Then a Berry Dragon to funnel her. I want her to go into this channel without breaking her in. That's like the goal which I have at the moment. Then I want to use my king to funnel my queen to the right side. Otherwise, she might go to the left, and that's not what should happen. So far, everything is looking really good. The enemy king, or like my own king, is doing the funnel part great. And now my queen should like step into this, even though the expo should be on her. But it shouldn't be too long, because those are air expos, which means they do not have like a too big of a range, which is totally fine. A coconut loon, and then the queen is going into the channel. Everything like planned so far. Even though she skipped the wizard tower, I would have liked to get the wizard tower, but it doesn't really matter. It's still totally fine. So the next thing which is going to happen, I try to wall break my queen in. I'm using a rage just to make sure that my wall breaker is actually getting through the wall, and the wall breaker are actually getting into the core as well, which was supposed to happen, but I thought I would need another layer of, or like another set of wall breakers, but it was totally fine. Now the queen is in the core, like in the channel, which I wanted her to get, and there's not too much damage on her, and she can reach actually the eagle as well. So since the clan castle is out of the way, we can now send all of our troops actually into the core, because we have a direct pathing and we created already a funnel with the beginning. But we do not want to swag our P.E.K.K.A. So this is why I'm using the P.E.K.K.A. at the bottom, and I'm using the wall breakers to make sure that P.E.K.K.A. is getting into the base. And now all of the mines are coming in, the warden is coming in behind, the Hawk Riders are coming in behind. So far everything is looking really good. The queen is like targeted by the single inferno tower. Queen ability is getting used, and now we're just freezing things up, like enemy queen, enemy town hall, really important things which need to be frozen. Just freeze those. So far we didn't really need any free spits for our queen charge, and now just the Hawk Riders, warden ability. There are no ground skeletons, which is nice for us as well. And then this means this is going to be an easy triple. Now the Hawk Riders from the siege barracks are coming in. That's it. Perfect day for us. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said, if you guys want to participate in the Gold Pass giveaway, make sure to follow me on Instagram. I will post everything over there which you guys need to know. And yeah, I will see you guys over there. See you guys hopefully in the next video. And if you want to join me on my stream, even though it's in German, still, if you guys would like to join me over there, make sure to follow me on Twitch. I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Until then, see you guys, and bye bye.